what you think about when you're born into a fire. But let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. You think you've got my number figured out? A motive born in drought and brevity. And if I'm not the soul of your design, I blatantly decline your remedy. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. I wasn't always just a single shade, a palette full of gray in reverie. And I can burn it brighter than the sun. I have a golden gun inside of me. Don't box me in, don't, or I'll leave. I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything if I lose the fight, I still rage against the night. Don't box I'd rather be a dreamer, I'd rather be free, I'd rather be a leader, I'd rather be a queen, I'd rather be a singer in a trashy cover band. I'd rather be a closer, I'd rather be clean, I'd rather be a poser in a magazine, I'd rather be pretty much anything else than your machine. It's plain and simple, dear. I'll still be here when you're gone. You gather souvenirs, but I will never be your pawn. Your pawn. Your pawn. My love was never again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the same. You can double down. I'll still be a proud haven for your love is never love. A river through your bluff, I will be enough, enough, enough. My love was never again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. Something you can never take, but it's not uncommon to forsake. Got a chronic urge to complicate. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. Feeling I have nothing left to hide. I'll say what you know it when it's right. Keep it simple now, living it before I die. Think of love like a friend, not an enemy. My love was never again. I lay my cards out on the table. There's nothing to gamble away, but I can promise that you'll never be the same. But I can promise that you'll never be the Have I become a little too shy for love? I've been hurt before. All's fair in love and war. So I snuggle up close to the shell I'm living in. What if you're everything I need? A fire in my heart, the air I breathe. What if I'm incomplete without you by my side? What if I go against my heart instead of confessing from the start? What if I miss out on the life meant for us? I need you by my side. I need you by my side. I need you by my side.
Let's wait for them to give me a little permission to speak here.
Looks like Vet's in if you want to pull him up onto the stage.
Okay.
Do we have to?
I'm a speaker now. Look at that. I'm a speaker. That happened.
Mistakes
I know.
were made.
Mistakes were
This
made.
feels weird. This feels really weird for me, especially.
I was gonna say, is this your first one, Ghost?
First
Yes.
one
Okay,
for
everybody.
Ghost. Celebrations.
Huh?
Oh, I'm glad I could make your day godlike.
Exactly what I thought Vet would look like. Vet's sick right now. This is like my barely got out of pajamas look.
Are you on video somewhere?
I am on stream.
Oh, I can't watch that and do
know.
this at the same time, and
I-
I am thankful
Yeah,
for that excuse.
I'm sick today. I've been sick all weekend. I've been trying to get over it. Just got something hanging on. I don't know what it is.
Your man flu.
It's I told you guys the other day I have a man flu, and you know the man flu is so painful. Just I compare it to giving birth, but it's worse. And I mean, oh, trust me, I've tried all the water and Motrin in the world. I've tried every drug under the sun that's legal. I want to point that out there because I'm on video right now. It's been legal drugs. Legal.
I will
Very
say you shouldn't just
legal,
combine
terrific,
all the different legal drugs either, though. That's
amazing,
not a
the
wise
greatest
idea there.
drugs that are legal.
Oh, I just feel bad for your wife. I feel like I should send her a gift basket or something.
She's had to tolerate me like all weekend. The worst part was we had so much like scheduled that like I had to do everything. I could not like stop it, so I had to do everything while I was sick. So we had our our neighborhood spring cleanup. So like I'm hauling stuff and fixing stuff and helping people, and I'm yakking the whole time. It's just not a good weekend for me. But got a lot of Arc Raiders done, so that's really what counts. Because I had nothing to do today other than like lay in bed and play some Arc Raiders. So was thankful for that. Needed a little bit of that.
I'm sorry, Godlike. Godlike sounds like he needs some
that sounds
ibuprofen
about
or
right.
something from carrying you.
What happened?
Thank Godlike, gift
Oh.
basket. Him and your wife, they deserve it.
Godlike. Oh my gosh. That guy. He's something else. I accidentally improved his trial score. That's how good I am. I wasn't even meaning to, and I accidentally improved his trial score this week. Wasn't even a plan. Yeah.
He was so mad.
I know. I was like, how did I improve your score?
I wish you would have clipped it.
I didn't even like come in here to do that. Hi, Shiri.
Hey there, Pierre.
We're at time. We could probably start.
I did just ping everybody like 30 seconds ago. Well, out here, I didn't do everybody. So we might get some more in, but I'll keep an eye on that.
Okay. A lot of good content on the agenda, but short as well. I think we've got the announcement up, but haven't done it on one of our meetings yet. So first announcement is Zyla. We've got a new council member leading the family staff of First Council, which is everybody. So welcome and congrats, Zyla.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, brother.
If I only had my soundboard easy to operate, I'd do like a clapping sound, but that's more of Kryptonian's job than mine, I feel like.
I mean, I have a soundboard on here, but you guys will not like it. It is unbearably loud.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
have
not-
permissions to do soundboard stuff.
Oh,
Honestly.
no.
Yeah, I don't either, unfortunately.
It's not a great
Okay.
soundboard, but it is fun.
Next up, I think, Ghost, you wanted to run through some of the Call of Duty events, is that right?
Yeah, I can. I had 2 Call of Duties and a Fortnite event that I'm throwing together. So I will do 2. So the first, hold on. Actually, we'll do it by date. 12. I think I did Fortnite first. 19. What's first? Okay, the first thing that is coming up, June 5th. I am holding a Warzone kill race tournament. Squads of 4. You're going into battle royale public matches. All the information and everything will be posted as soon as the leadership meeting is over. That's where I was going with that. The next one is a 2v2 search and destroy. Private match. I've already picked. It's comp maps, ranked maps, basically. I will be spinning teams before we get started, so nobody will know who they're playing until the wheel decides. And that will be done in front of everybody, so everybody can see what is being spun. And that will be June 12th. And then June 19th is a Fortnite kill race. Squads of 4. And again, all of these announcements and the registrations will be posted as soon as the leadership meeting is over.
Nice.
The tournaments are just for bragging rights because these are my first ones, so I don't have any like prizes or anything. But I've talked to Squared. If enough people sign up, she is willing to do stickers for the winning teams. I believe we've talked. Is what you said?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then winning teams will also get an award on the website.
Little bit of street cred, as we call it here in the
Yep.
Mafia.
Yeah, it's just bragging rights this time because this is my first one and I wanted to see how it went before I tried dipping my toes into cash prizes and stuff.
Sometimes those are the best ones. I feel like Godzilla and I need to have a competition strictly for bragging rights. Tired of him telling everyone he carries me.
Sounds like you already have bragging rights, so there you go. Typical.
Well, that's awesome, Ghost. Great stuff. Sounds like a lot of fun. So the next one is probably the main reason we're holding the meeting today. Wanted to talk through how we open new families in OG. We've never had a standard for that to date. Certainly spent a couple of months discussing some ways that it could work, and we've certainly tried a few things. Frontier staff's done a pretty amazing job in working with us and supporting a lot of the games we have now. So Vet, Xylo, and I have spent a number of hours talking through this, and different members of council have met with the family staff to get their input and feedback and buy-in. So I'll cover it at a high level. I'll maybe let the rest of folks here weigh in and provide feedback. But essentially going to propose creating this new thing called Proving Grounds, which is not a family. If y'all go and look on the roster now, you will see a new thing between the community team and the first council called Proving Grounds. And you'll see the first proposed game going through the Proving Grounds, which is Arc Raiders. You'll see that there is this weird shepherd position above that where typical veteran is assigned. Haven't moved crews over because we wanted to kind of talk through it as a community, but I wanted to do some of these things so you can kind of visually see how it might work. Also, you should also see the new family creation FAQ up at the top or on the website. We can unhide a couple different things. So there's a new family request. Yeah, you guys should be able to see that now. New family request under looking for group. So when a group would like to create a family, they can just go there and submit a request. Squared will take a look, get with the folks, have some discussion. Once we have some facts, we'll raise that to the council and have a discussion, get with Frontier staff, get some feedback from them, because generally it's going to be coming from their area, and decide if we want to put them in the Proving Grounds. And if we do, then we will, and we'll assign someone from the council to be the leadership there. In this case, for Arc Raiders, that will be typical veterans. So he'll be the direct leadership that the folks in Arc Raiders will report to. They already have an existing leadership team, so all of that will just transfer over. So locks will still be street boss, different capos and stuff. All their structure is just going to shift over to this Proving Ground, and then typical will hopefully shepherd them into being a full family. There's definitely some different targets, activity, leadership candidates and things that we're wanting before we make them a family. But after some period of time in the Proving Ground, the council will get back together. Once Vets thinks they're ready, have a discussion, have a vote if they should become a family. Or in, some circumstance, like if we look at Fortnite, they were promising for a while. Hopefully they'll bounce back at some point, but you can probably pretty objectively look at that and say, yeah, they're not really close to being ready to become a family right now. So if that's the case, they would move back to Frontier. And just to be clear, because it's come up with a couple questions with family staff, the standards for creating a family have nothing to do with the standards for a family remaining open. And so like Battlefield, as long as there's one leader, like Enigma and family staff and one fully active crew having sessions, they can just stay a family forever and ever and ever. That's fine. This is purely related to how we are trying to create families. So pause there. try to look at the chat, see if anybody has questions or anybody else wants to weigh in.
Currently, they're discussing about how Call of Duty Ghost was the worst. Not
I see.
our outfit head Ghost, but the game Ghost.
Do we have an idea of in the future what would be the, I guess, the process if we had, say, if we got to a point where praise, knock on wood, praise God, but we get to a point where we have so many people in so many different games that we actually have enough people needing to or going through the process of making multiple families. Would there ever be a point where like one council person would be over multiple of those?
Yes. Yeah, that's perfectly possible. Yes. I think it's not, I want to spread the workload, but like if Minecraft was, hey, we want Minecraft to become a family, have some toss up between Xylo and Squared and pick somebody, and maybe there's another game. Yeah, it's possible that one of these people will be over multiple proving grounds.
Sorry for my coughing, guys. If I could just chime in and say a few things, just give a little context here. I know that you guys have to deal with my raspy voice. I'm a little sick, but this was kind of inspired by feedback. I want to give the credit where credit's due. It's like Xylo was the architect of this, right? But it wasn't Xylo alone. This was a combined effort. Family staff, weeks and weeks and weeks of having deep, difficult discussions, hours in voice chats with each other. That was all inspiration for this, and we think that I think we're on the right track here. I want to be, and I've said this in family staff a lot before. I want to be bold. I want to take risks. If I'm gonna fail, I want to fail forward. And I think it's we've been a community long enough that we've grown comfortable enough with each other where we can try these things out. I think this is the path forward. That's why I play Ark. I want to fail. Hey, I'll tell you a little bit something about. Let me spill some knowledge for you young bucks out there. I'll tell you a little bit about failure. All right, everybody, get ready for the dad tangent of the year here. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, struck out 2,600 times. He was one of the most struck out baseball players in the world. But did anyone here know that? No. He's famous for 2 grand slams in the same game. Winning, he called him Mr. His Mr. October. That guy won more playoff games than he's one of the only baseball players to ever do it. One of the most famous baseball players of all times. But he struck out 2,600 times, right? He swung at everything. He tried to go over the fence every time. You couldn't tell Reggie Jackson to go get a base hit. Reggie Jackson wanted the whole kit and caboodle. He refused to bunt. And I'm not a baseball stud at all, but that guy was a perfect example of failing forward, right? He failed enough times that he thrust himself into greatness, right? I don't think that I'm not calling out a failure here, but I think that we have an opportunity here to try something new, take a little bit of risk, and give a little bit of freedom here. Because that's kind of what we developed this community for. We wanted to be casual, laid back, more freedom, make your own road type of community. Anything that you want to do, you should be able to do it here. And being the shepherd in Ark Raiders, I'm going to act as a facilitator. So, that being said, it's on you guys to grow. It's on it's on me to advise you and help you. So, there's my Reggie Jackson speech. I'll step back there for a minute, but I wanted to give Xylo and the family staff a lot of credit. There's been double-digit hours, maybe triple-digit hours spent on forming this idea. So, Jim Tomey, there we go. Yep, has the 1996 Indians dream team, and we still couldn't win a World Series. We suck. I hate it. All right.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah, this is the current state. Highly likely that we will experience some failures along the way and make adaptations, but I think this is the best for the short term, and maybe we'll have a better version of this in 6 months. So I agree with the failure philosophy. Some of the other things, at least from my perspective, that drove the decision is we have now and have had for quite some time, last couple of years, a wildly successful Frontier family who's upheld the primary mission, which is let's create a chill, laid-back place for people to play games. In the last couple months, we've been in this contention where it's like, okay, but let's also do this other second, completely different mission. And how do we prioritize? How do we accomplish two missions that are reasonably at odds with one another? It really takes, if you look at it from a military standpoint, the viewpoint of a field commander versus the viewpoint of a garrison commander. Completely different leadership styles and goals, objectives. So I think this allows the Frontier to focus on what they are good at and have been good at for a very long time. Not that they're not capable of supporting this. We just don't want it to burden down the mission and compromise some of the success that they're having. So we're going to put this on us for now. We'll figure our shit out. Probably make some mistakes along the way, but at least the onus is on us to figure it out and get it working. So, anybody else got anything?
Like about this?
Yeah, on this topic, there's a fourth bullet, which we'll just go to open discussion if you have something else, but
no.
I'm just checking the chat. Sweet. Okay. Well, we'll get all the crews in ARC moved over, get locks, get you moved over. That we'll get with those folks about whatever the heck that means and if they have any questions or feedback. But otherwise, that was the big one. Last topic is just open discussion and let's see. Questions from leadership. So is there any other open topics we want to run through?
I would like to propose the idea of making crews available to have a more dynamic scheduling than setting specific days to play on. Specifically, letting crews that know that they want to play approximately once a week, but cannot verify and be certain that they have the same day available every week, able to put that in and operate in such a way that they don't get penalized by not showing up to the session on a specific day. Like, let's say a crew decides that they want to play once a week and they don't know that they can play on Wednesdays, but they decide to put Wednesdays as their day and they weren't able to play this Wednesday. And so everybody gets marked excused for that session, but they ended up playing Thursday instead. And so they put in the attendance for Thursday. My suggestion would be that this would eliminate the need to put in a session of all excused, thus eliminating excess excused marks on people's records. And also a cancel session button.
I agree with Mystic. I would also like a cancel session button.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to a cancel session button.
I think a
Whatever,
cancel
just-
session button is one thing, but as far as, so I'm brand new. I joined OG and I want to play, just for example, Overwatch. And during my onboarding, you ask me what my availability is. And I ask, when do they play? Are you going to tell me they pick a day randomly and I may or may not be actually free that day? Like, how does that work? How would that
So-
work for new people? How would you tell them where they're going and when?
Well, first of all, I would not tell them where they're going until I confirm with the crew staff that they actually want people in that crew. But also, I would inform the person at that time that we do have an Overwatch crew, a crew that plays Overwatch, that they do not have a set day each week that they play on, but that they do play once a week, and that they would be able to get access to their channel to see when they would play, to see if that is something that they would be interested in. If not, then I would let them know that we are always welcoming to start up a new crew if they have a specific day that they would like to play on, that we can get them set up doing that instead. Essentially, it's not something I would, for the few crews that I see actually operating under this idea, it's not something I would push for people that are just coming into the community. It's something more for people who have been playing for a long time, that their schedules have changed over time and they don't have the specific day free anymore. And rather than having to constantly change their schedule because they're constantly shifting around to different days, this would give them the ability to still play, once a week, once every other week, and put in their attendance without actually having to go in constantly getting pinged because they weren't able to play on their scheduled day and then have to put in an attendance with all excused. It saves on them having to deal with that. But it's not something that I would necessarily highlight as something that I would want to put someone fresh off of the street into. I would still ideally prefer to have a more static crew that plays on a set day to get them brought in with that understanding of like, this is the way that we try to factor things. But this is also another way that I think existing crews could benefit from having the availability to do so.
I have a strong opinion on the matter, but I'd like to hear, well, anybody else hears feedback, or if anybody wants to throw some feedback in the chat.
Anybody? Yeah.
I do like the cancel session button. I think the only thing I would caution you on is the thing that Squared brought up, right? Is we kind of advertised at least a semi-organized gaming community here where people, find us on Reddit, find us on Twitch, find us on Clan Finder, find us on Facebook or Instagram, right? So they're kind of looking to come in and play with somebody active and a team that's kind of got their stuff together, at least in a somewhat way, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna go join these guys. They're probably gonna have a focus. They might, if they're Overwatch, I'm hoping maybe I get another group of plats and maybe a couple of diamonds sprinkled in there so that I can elevate my game, get some coaching. And I just think that when you have something like that, you kind of rain on their parade early. It makes them come in, see what we're about. They take the time to onboard, and then it's just like, well, looking at this crew chat, it's kind of stagnant, and I'm not really well informed on when the next session is, and it's I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go somewhere else, right? I think we kind of leave a lot on the table there, so I would just caution you with that. I'm not opposed to it. That's a problem that I could identify on the immediate.
Would the cancel session command resolve like 90% of the issue that we're trying to address?
Yeah, I'm all for the cancel button. Yep.
Having the cancel session button is definitely helpful, but that is a separate entity from what I'm discussing. The cancel session button, there are some sessions, especially in Frontier. I know that we are a big one for this, but sometimes you don't have the people that are required to be there. If you're playing D&D and the DM is sick or the DM loses power because he lives in Ohio and it's a trashy power system, then you have no choice but to cancel the
True,
session. Nobody
yeah.
else can play if the DM's not there. If
get it.
the person who has the specific game save is out of town and not able to show up and they can't play because the game save is not there, you can't help but cancel the session. And I know that we don't really negatively look at excused absences necessarily, but it is still annoying because when you look at your overall percentage of sessions attended versus not, if everybody is missing from the session and the session was called, then it shouldn't be counted as a session against you completely, and you shouldn't have to rack up an excuse for that. I think that that makes sense. The thing that I'm talking about with this, though, is in no way taking anything away from what we already have established. We would still keep all of the crews available to have that are set as static crews that have specific days that they play. Nothing about that would change. But if a crew believes that they would benefit from not having a static day, but still being able to say, we are intending to play once a week, we just cannot verify it's going to be the exact same day each week, having that level of freedom, having that level of availability to those people would be beneficial. So it's not like if someone were to come into the community looking for something specific and set up and structured, it's not like we don't still offer that or that wouldn't be there. But if the existing crew that can't operate within that structure, but can still operate as a crew, just not within the structure of only being able to play on one specific day a week, we would still be able to have a crew that does that, but we'd still have the availability to have crews that are able to operate in playing the same day each week.
Yeah. So my thoughts on it are it's a minimum standard. We've made it, we were once a week, and we've opened it to monthly and bi-weekly. I think we've created a pretty massive amount of freedom, and it becomes completely unmanageable for leadership to know if a crew should be allowed to exist, if we should be closing them or not, if they just can arbitrarily show up. I mean, plus, from a coding standpoint, I could probably set some parameter that said, like, if they don't report any, like they're supposed to play bi-weekly, and they don't report any sessions in 2 weeks, then some alarm to leadership. But I don't know. I think it is evidenced by the majority of our crews being operational that, by and large, this is how our members want to play. This is when we've been onboarding since day one. We've explained this is how our crews will work. You will play on this type of schedule. You will need some kind of availability. If you can't play on one of the availabilities of one of our crews, you can't join. You need to stay in pending onboarding, right? So sorry, the time doesn't work for you. We can't place you. I don't think we should move away from that. The flexibility we give capos, I mean, they could change their schedule, be kind of a pain in the butt, but they could request their schedule to be changed whenever the heck they want. There's no limit on that. But I don't think that moving to a purely you have absolutely no set day or time model is in our best interest.
Hobo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gaming Chef had a question, but he can't raise his hand to come up here, so I'm on my phone, so I didn't know if you could assist.
Oh, he wants to ask in voice, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, 1 second. Gaming Chef?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Pertaining to what Mystic was bringing about, is there a way when you create a crew, okay, to whereas once it gets to the dates and times, that it could just be like a line item to whereas it says open, to whereas it makes it to whereas a crew, if they literally open availability to do their session any day or time of the week, they just report it and continue on about their business instead of having a set day and time. I mean, I think that would be feasible for what Mystic was bringing up for whatever crew is doing it over in Frontier and stuff like that. I was just wondering if that would be an easy coding thing to do to make, his request happen.
Probably a couple hours of work, but it's technically feasible. I think it's a system that could be designed and implemented. Sure. The question at hand is not can we, but should we?
I mean, if it retains members, then I mean, I mean, why not? I mean, it's just
Yes,
why
that
not?
would be
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm just way down on the totem pole. But I'm just like, why not?
Yes.
we're
I would
all
argue it harms retention that if you don't have leaders that are paying attention to when you're playing and if you're active, and you would just rely on you to hopefully show up on some unknown occasion and frequency, that's going to harm retention, not improve it.
And
Right.
I would
We do
argue
have-
that telling people that you have to show up on a rigid time schedule that we put in place or else you can't be a crew is meaning that we are going to lose crews that still want to play but can't guarantee that they're going to be able to play on the same day every week.
Not
This is-
lose
to
crews, because this
answer-
is the standard. Like,
To
this is
answer
how
a
it is.
question, to answer a question real quick, I do see that God Like Zilla has asked a question in the chat. I want to be clear, this would not be something that would be forced on any crew. This is something that would be an option that I am proposing to a crew that feels that they would benefit from that. So no crew would be forced to take on this role. It would only be on a crew that feels like they cannot confidently show up to the one specific day that they have put down in time, but they know that they will all show up to a day in the week to play together.
I think the minimum is once a month, right? We've backed
Yes,
And that
out
doesn't
to once a month.
prevent them from, like, if they want to play on other days, they can do that. There's nothing like,
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, did that answer your question, Chef?
Yeah, I was just curious about that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. All right. So, I don't agree that we should do that as a community.
Realistically, the only difference between this and a monthly crew is that a monthly crew still has to specifically label one day out of a month that they are going to try to make sure that they play on, which they are still able to miss that day, and there is no difference in that happening. It's sort of
But it
similar to
gives-
how we don't require a crew to have a specific game. If we have people who are looking to play together, they can come together to play any amount of games, any games that they want to. They can just form a crew of people that meet up at the moment at a specific time on a specific day to play games together. This is just trying to open that field up to where it's not limiting them so much to say you have to be available on this day. It's giving them the ability to say you can be available on any day, and we're not going to ask you to specifically hold this day as your one day that you play.
It's clear to me what you mean. I just disagree that that concept is a good thing.
Anyone else?
I mean, I think it would just be hard to track from a leadership standpoint. We already have crews that do struggle.
You cut out for me. Y'all lose her too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like gone.
Yep, gone. Okay.
So I will use the good old BG3 as an example for this. For myself, Nixon, Mike, and Peak, we have been going through a craziness of that. Like at one time, Tuesdays worked. We've moved to Wednesdays, and at this point in time, it hasn't been working for everybody. The cancel button would have been fantastic because Mike was the one with the save, but now I have the save, and it's just been like every week we're getting tagged by the bot that we didn't do attendance. It's because we haven't even played the game in like 3 days, but we are actively trying to still play it. But real life things have caused members to not be able to play in the crew. So on a case-by-case basis, I think it would be beneficial for us to have where a crew can then be set aside on Dynamic until maybe their time comes where they can finally have a more static. But I think it would be beneficial for those crews that are having issues with the majority of their people having real life things happen to them. Instead of just dissolving the crew, it's placed in this dynamic state, which then gives them flexibility.
I think that's an excellent example. I mean, because correct me if I'm miscategorizing this, but in our discussions of that crew with Peluso, we've said it's a perfect example of a crew that should be closed, and as soon as they finish this campaign, we're closing it. So I don't know if that serves as a good reason why we should make an exception to the rule, and more so an example of a crew that we don't want to prevent them from having fun and finishing their campaign that they've been running for a very long time. So we're kind of letting them be an exception, but it's acknowledged that that's not the type of activity that we want long term.
Is this something that we're just gonna, I guess at this point, decide yes or no? Is this something that's being asked to like source the community on their feedback? Like, how are we addressing this moving forward? Because I know a lot of our current crew standards were based off of votes, right? Like that's how we've justified that it was written down and established as the community standard. And if we're trying to find out if the rest of the community thinks that it's something they could use, I don't know that there's necessarily enough people here tonight to make that determination. So I guess that's my question about this. How are we approaching this?
It's a good question. I'm not opposed to doing some kind of poll, or I don't know how. It's not exactly the most simple topic. A lot of times when we do a community vote, it'll be like leadership has done a lot of the legwork. We'll say, hey, theme A or theme B. Or yeah, maybe there's some iteration of what themes. Okay, here's our top 2 themes. It's a simple topic. It's not. This is probably a little bit more complex. So I'd have to think through how we could get the community's feedback on it.
Mhm.
But I'm definitely not opposed to some kind of poll. We just need to like limit it to probably associates and above,
Right.
or maybe members and I don't know.
I mean, obviously, if it's a change, it's something that like has to go through a process. So we still have our current standards right now anyway. But I'm just curious because I mean, we've had a couple of people come up and say there was some case used for it. It's just against the way that we do things now, right? So I think that's a fair assessment, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I can agree with that.
Well, does anybody here have any other comments on this topic?
We've posted in chat. I don't know if I'm here.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, well, I said I feel like this would be a good, like, for the member slash sponsor representative and the council would take a vote on this one.
Yeah, I'm not opposed ahead of that type of vote, getting some community member and above type poll as well. But yeah, concurrently, we could have the member slash sponsor representative election and let that person also have a vote on this.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Cheery has something they'd like to say.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't easily
They're
do
not.
it.
Oh, they are there. Okay. 1 second. Hey.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey,
Well, what I was going to say is that gaming, gaming is going to be kind of hard. Gaming here is going to be a bit difficult for me here ever since I started my new job because I'm working Monday through Friday, 6 to 3, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And I'm only off on the weekends.
A lot of
Okay.
crews that play every Saturday or every Sunday, or once a month on a Saturday. I mean, if we're posting a minimum standard of play once a month on a Saturday, that's not hard to achieve, right?
Considering I'm working with Honda and I'm on a rotating shift.
Oh, I thought you said you were off on Saturdays. That's my bad.
Yeah. Hold on a second, my mom called me.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'd say next steps for this like dynamic crew or whatever you want to call it would be to have something written up about it, proposing it, and then we can make a post somewhere for members to vote. You want to do members first and then do the members / sponsor representative and council vote?
Yeah, what's this group thing? I seen in the chat some folks said member and above. I'm good with a member and above vote. Is everybody else here good with that?
I'm okay with that.
Hell yeah, brother.
Okay, we'll do a member and above vote. Sounds good. And then go from there.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if there's no other topics, I think that's all I had.
I've reached out to a few of the Arc Raiders peoples. I'd love to have a little powwow, a little get together with some of y'all in the next few days. I'm gonna post a meeting. I'd love for the council to come and attend. Frontier, I'd love for you guys to come and attend, give some final notes, some feedback, words to grow on for them, what you guys observed. I'd love for that to happen. And I'm gonna put my goals out to the leadership there. And we're either going to sink or we're going to swim. So look for that announcement in Arc Raiders. So that's coming.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
You too.